Good morning and welcome to the Saturday special. As a matter of fact, the artificial intelligence is increasing at that fast rate that's unimaginable what the future is going to be. And the next 3 decades would see one of the most pertinent and important function of our society, that is Medicare, being handled entirely by artificial intelligence. Now, Medicare has 3 aspects. First is the diagnosis, the second is the treatment, and the third is most important, either prevention or aftercare. And in all these 3 respects, artificial intelligence is likely to replace humans to a visible extent. Imagine that tomorrow you don't have to go to a radiologist to getting the X-ray done. It has been found that diagnosis, which is a critical part of any doctor, whether GP or specialist, is much more accurate when done by the robots and the artificial intelligence rather than when it's done by the radiologist. The human error, which is there, is absolutely eliminated provided your software is up to the date. And it has been seen in real life situations, for example, that in forecasting of a diagnosis of breast cancer, the human error accounts for 18%, but the artificial intelligence is 92% accurate. Now 92% and 80 something is a lot of a difference. So we see that the people are going to be diagnosed at their convenience 24/7. The only problem is going to be, would the people feel comfortable being diagnosed by the machines? It's a human psychological factor that we trust our lives in the hands of the human doctors. The lives of our dear and near ones are very precious to us. And some of us may be hesitant about going to a machine and getting the diagnosis done. But then picture yourself that, like the science fiction movie, that you are getting dropped into a pod which analyzes you and fixes up in a second. Secondly, when we set up the treatment, the most important part is the surgical part. The robotic surgery today is already quite advanced. And this robotic surgery is all the time being implemented by the help of artificial intelligence. Now, robotic surgery has 2 aspects. One is the surgery being conducted by the robots, and the second is surgery being conducted at distant places with the help of robots. The precision in both is much more in artificial intelligence than in the human doctors. The involvement of the humans in the particular operations where the movement can be mimicked in the same way as a mole kitchen mimes the movement of a star chef makes the technique of each surgery precise and perfect. I don't say that the humans would be replaced. No, they will be involved to oversee the operation until the machine proves that they are capable of reacting to the unfold difficulties. But each time it happens, the human intelligence would aid and assist artificial intelligence to improve for the next future surgery. That, what happens is that artificial intelligence can be fixed much sooner and much easier than the human errors can be detected. Then, the second part is assistant to the doctors. Now, most of the providers of the services to the doctors realize that the patients are not going to give themselves absolutely to the machines. So a solution for that, of course, is two different. Artificial intelligent processes in the patient start at two levels. One, where it's a machine-only process. Second is machine aiding and assisting the human doctor. And the diagnostic procedures are improving every day. If you don't believe that these diagnostic systems will improve, then maybe you're not paying attention to any technological advance. Are you aware that a single test uses a single drop of blood that can screen 13 different types of cancer? And that is possible only by artificial intelligence, not by humans. You see, what happens is the multiplicity of the tests, the multiplicity of the diagnosis, the cross-reference of one diagnostic with the other diagnostic can be done by the humans, but the time and the effort it consumes is unimaginable. When artificial intelligence is doing the same thing, it can use its algorithms to come up with an analysis much faster, much quicker, and that saves very many times the lives of the patients. Then, physical evaluation. Your smartphone and your personal health trackers can provide enormous amount of data on day-to-day health, your sleeping pattern, your nutrition, your physical activity. And then, for example, the genetic code, your DNA, can easily be done by artificial intelligence. 23andMe is the first and the genetic service available directly to you, and that includes and covers all FDA standards. Maybe doctors just there provide advice because they know 100% of the technological advancements, newest drug treatments, how to avoid negative drug reactions, latest physical therapy techniques. Yes, but that is the advice part. Once they advise you a certain physical therapy, a certain drug delivery, AIs have an advantage. Now, coming to a drug delivery, the biggest problem with a human is getting injected and swallowing the oral drugs. Artificial intelligence can be used to transfer drugs to your body without using the other means. A vacuum pressing of the medication inside the body is quite possible. But when the human being wants to do it without the help of artificial intelligence, the precision would be lacking. Now, can a robot, you'll ask, take the job of a radiologist? Yes. It can do it and much better, but one thing more you are forgetting. A machine can work 24/7. Today, for example, to have an ultrasound, you might have to wait for weeks together. CAT scan and MRI, you are aware how much the wait time is. But if the artificial intelligence is conducting all these tests, you simply go in, press the button, put in the diagnostic requirement, and presto, you are out with the result in your hand. And not only the result would be done, the test would be done there and then, you would be given the result thereof. What's the real suffering? And that time lag is crucial very often. It was tested. They tested the AI with 150 new X-rays. And the algorithms achieved 90% accuracy in 15 seconds. This human radiologist could never have done. Similar learning algorithm shows encouraging success in ophthalmology, in cardiology, and in all branches of pathology. What is important is, if you think that you work as a radiologist, like, you have seen that cartoon, Willy Y. Coyote. You're on the edge of a cliff, and yet you have not looking down. There's no ground underneath. But that was 5 years back. Now, it's there. It's a process not of replacing only. It is of upgrading and augmenting, adding. There's no subtraction involved here. And the person responsible for Boolean algorithms understands AI means for research. It's not to say that the present pathologists and radiologists are not doing a job. What we are saying is that the artificial intelligence can do the same job better, quicker, and more accurately. What happens is, unfortunately, we don't give the neural networks the key to the shop, that we are not creating autonomous doctors, robots, who will perform surgery on their own without the need of nurses, technicians, and staff. As a matter of fact, AI would streamline the whole process and conduct it in a more sterile fashion, more careful fashion, and increasing the safety of the patient. Similarly, a radiologist isn't a person who interprets the shadow on an X-ray. They are the data scientist. So it's a data scientist who would be needing to run those algorithms and do the analysis. So the job is going to be better. Neural networks are always better than the human physicians at detecting. For example, in diabetes, the image of the patient's retina seen by an optometrist is there, but if the artificial intelligence does the same thing, it's much better. There was a study done in UK. 295,000 patients were subjected to machine learning algorithms, and their medical history with the rate of the heart attacks were done. The algorithms were given another 82,000 patients and asked to predict which ones would have heart attack. And would you believe, they were correct at 93.8% times. And the people they had said and identified that they will have a heart attack, they had a heart attack within the next 2 years. So, the way algorithms and the artificial intelligence can use the driverless cars, it can make the surgery, the Medicare much better. And then another thing, most important, the economic aspect. When you use artificial intelligence, the medical cost will come down appreciably, because most of the expensive work of paramedicals, nurses, pathologists, radiologists, therapists, massagers would be done by the artificial intelligence, but all of them supervised by a few human beings. There will be doctors, of course, MDs, but they will be primarily in supervision capacity. It's hard to predict that healthcare would be in next 20 years what it should be, but you can be sure it shall be better, more reliable, cheaper, and more accurate. Can you predict Could you have in 1997 predicted that the smartphones would be there in 2017 and the way they are there become a part of your life? The same is going to happen in the medical industry. Near instantaneous access to the human knowledge, exemplified by the AI, would make your lives healthier, better. AI is the future in Medicare, in health, in education, in every field. But in health, it's going to the monarch of its surveys. Still, I would say that we'll be needing doctors in many branches, but primarily as supervisors. In fact, the future is AI medical experts. Thank you.